How does the narcissist move on so quickly? How is it that within just a couple of weeks, sometimes, the narcissist is in a new relationship and they're happily posting on social media about the new love of their life? How is that possible when you are brokenhearted? You have not even accepted your breakup, yet they've already moved on. Unfortunately, this is a very common pattern with narcissists. They are very quick movers, and it's a pretty simple explanation. They need someone else to fulfill their happiness and their esteem. Happiness and esteem, self-esteem, come from within with undisordered people. Empaths, you and I, normal people, I don't really like to use that word, non-disordered people. We create our own happiness, or at least we should. Everybody should create their own happiness. You cannot rely on someone else for happiness. But a narcissist is unable to self-regulate their happiness and their joy. It only comes from an outside source. So they absolutely need new supply in order to be happy. They need it. It is their lifeblood. Actually, I always think of them as lizards laying on rocks, collecting sun for energy. Like a lizard in the morning, they're cold-blooded and they don't have the ability to just get up and go like you and I. They need to lay on a rock for hours while the sun warms their blood so they can get on with their day. And I think of narcissists in the same way. They can't just get up and go with their own happiness and their own joy. They need to be fed it by other people. And that will come in the form of new supply. Generally, romantic supply would be a primary source of supply, but it also can come from coworkers, from friends, from parents, from children, from just about anybody. Anybody who feeds their ego, much like the sun warms a reptile's blood, is how a narcissist operates. So they really do need that new supply to function. They will have no self-esteem, they will have no joy, and they will fall into a deep depression without it. So that is actually why they get into relationships very quickly. It's in order to feed their ego. They now feel that it was never them, the problem. Nothing was wrong with them. Look how quickly they got into a new relationship. Look how quickly this new person loves and adores and wants to be with them. And of course, we know that's because they're love bombing them, right? So this is why and how they get into new relationships so quickly. It's in order to fill their ego. It has nothing to do with the new person. Let's get that straight right now. It has nothing to do with the new supply. The new supply is just that, their supply. They're being used to feed the narcissist's ego, to help them get on with their life without sinking into a deep depression from the loss of you, which will happen if they can't get new supply. And this is why you hear that when narcissists age, it gets worse for them, because as anyone gets older, maybe they're going to lose some attraction, they're going to have less to offer, they're going to have less energy, men may become less sexually virile, and that's not going to be appealing to a lot of women, which will make it harder for them to get supply. Whereas they're young and handsome and they've got more going for them, yeah, it's not going to take that much effort, especially when they're love bombing them. So getting the new supply is not very hard. It's not hard for you either. You could go get a new boyfriend if you wanted to right away, but you're taking the right steps in healing, mourning your previous relationship. And in this case, because it was abusive, you've got to do some self-reflecting. You've got to educate yourself. You really need to create your own closure, and you should take time. You don't need to worry about jumping into a new relationship, especially just because he is. You take time to heal you. Don't worry about what he's doing. Don't worry about the new supply. And one last thing that you should take a little bit of comfort in, which is no comfort really, but the new supply is not getting that perfect best version of your ex that you were waiting for, that you wanted. It's not happening. She's getting the love bombing version right now, and within a couple of months, 2 months, I'd say, she's going to start seeing the red flags and the cracks. It's just inevitable. So don't be jealous of the new supply. She's going to get that same disordered, deranged, abusive monster that you've just left. Consider yourself lucky that you're out. Feel sorry for the new supply. Don't go warning her. Don't take that as approval to go warn her. We don't do that. We don't get involved. That's none of your business. So you just let them figure it out for themselves. You worry about you, and don't worry about keeping up and trying to get in a new relationship just because he is. You keep doing the work to educate and focus and get yourself good, and it will happen. And you'll be in a proper, happy, loving relationship before you know it. I love you all. Stay narc free and stay warm today. It's a cold day up in Toronto. So if you're in Canada or in Eastern Canada or Northern United States and you're getting this cold snap right now, put your toques on today. Okay, love you all.